All right. Happy Monday, Team Arrow. Of course, let me make sure I mute everybody. Hold on. I should have done that before we started. Okay, can everyone hear me? Okay, awesome. Okay, I think I muted everybody. All right, you guys. If you're jumping on, just make sure you mute yourself. Happy Monday. This is a big week. We actually just had a pretty big week because of the seasonal shakes that came out. It definitely got a lot of people ordering and into action, and those are two super popular shakes. So that was super fun to see. But this is the big push week that we agreed upon at the beginning of the 90-day action plan. So I just want, I need to mute someone else. All right. So I just want to remind you guys what this looks like. I'm going to make this call short and sweet because this week is literally about talking to everyone else who's not in Isogenics and helping them get started with Isogenics and helping them get paid. So I almost want you, like this week, to step away from everything else, step away from podcasts, step away from I need to learn this or I need to learn that or I need to hear this. Like at this point, you have filled your brain with everything that you need to know, unless you've never seen a compensation plan video, which I'm still shocked that some of you who are on this call have not seen a compensation plan video. So if you have not seen a compensation plan video, do that tonight as soon as we get off this phone call. Definitely the Jen Smith compensation video and the Eden Sloban. I think you should watch both of them because then you kind of choose which one you like better. And it's also a great model for you to know how to explain the compensation plan. If you have not watched the compensation plan video, I am 100% sure you do not know our compensation plan and you definitely are not explaining it to people. So that's like a big takeaway. It was shocking to me to talk to some people for these 90-day action plan calls that almost looked at me like they'd never heard that word before. So compensation plan video, super, super important. So either the Jen Smith or the Eden Sloban, and they are at the top of our 90-day action plan, you guys. It was literally like the first two things that I said you must do to be a part of this group. So make sure that you watch those. But other than that, this week, you guys, I want you to almost like just take a step back from doing all the homework and doing all the things because I want you talking to people. This business is about two things: getting people started with Isogenics, and the only way you do that is by sharing your story with a lot of people, talking to a lot of people, and number two, getting them paid. If you're not helping people get started with Isogenics, your business will not grow. And if you're not helping those people get paid, you're eventually going to run out of people, because if they're not getting paid, they're eventually going to fall off. Even if they love Isogenics, it's just what we see. So it's so, so important. So I do have some notes. So by September 16th, I want you this week to go for more enrollments than what you've had in any other week. So think about like, what has been your highest week? Has your highest week been 2 new enrollments? Has it been 4 new enrollments? Like, what did that week look like? And I want you to go beyond that, you know? So if your highest week is 2 enrollments, make it 4 this week. If 4 was your biggest week, then go for 5. Like, I just want you to just push as much as you can for as many enrollments, helping as many people as possible get started with Isogenics. How do you do this? Posting on social media a ton, but more than anything, the magic is in the follow-up, you guys, and like really following up with people individually, whether it's on the phone, whether it's Facebook. I can't tell you how much the follow-up is important. And I think our team still waits quite a bit for people to reach out to them instead of following up. And I can't tell you, I mean, even so many of you on this call, you're here because somebody kept following up with you. Most of you did not just join out of nowhere or reach out. I mean, some of you might have reached out for information, But it took follow-up. It took somebody following up over and over again to finally jump in. So it's so, so important, you guys. The follow-up is so, so important. And remember, people want to be told what to do, you guys, and don't be nervous about that. I think that's kind of like the other holdback is I think that our team definitely holds back on like, well, she told me she was going to post, but she never did. And then it's like, well, did you call her out on it? Like, did you say like what happened? No. Like, we are here to help people and we're here to coach people. And if you tell me you're going to do something and you don't do it, I'm going to call you out on it. And I'm going to remind you, like, remember last week when you told me how important this was to you and then you told me you were going to post that night and you didn't? Like, what happened? Like, I was looking forward to seeing your post. We are obligated to do that, you guys, because people are trusting us with their dreams and their goals. And we're really doing them a disservice otherwise if we're not following up and if we're not helping them. So just remember that you following up and you telling people what to do is to help them. You're not hurting them. You're helping them. You're helping them move along either in their health goals or their nutrition goals or their financial goals. That's why we dream with people, because they remind us of these things. So go for as many enrollments as possible this week. Again, magic is in the follow-up. Make sure you're following up with people. I loved the message that Patty shared in our Team Arrow Biz Messenger. So good, you guys. And again, just a reminder to be coachable. When an Isagenix millionaire tells you, hey, I send this message out and it works, it works. Use it. I love that Patty shared it. I love that she sent it out to 10 people and that 4 people already made phone call appointments with her. Like, how wonderful is that, you know? So use that. Thank you so much, Patty, for sharing that with us. And I think you can also obviously you can modify it in different ways, but you can modify it definitely for business or maybe even nutrition or whatever that may be. But that was kind of like reaching out to some people that are in your heart, you know, that have not reached out to you. Make it authentic though. And then the other big goal for this week, so the most enrollments and creating at least 2 consultants. So everybody on this call, the ultimate goal is to be executive at the very least. We of course have our executives who now have dreams and goals beyond that, or they want to get back to executive, or it's about helping someone else become executive. So the goals that we have for these next 90 days by November 12th, it really is to keep it on track to at least reach executive, right? So the goal is by September 16th, if you are not active manager, that is 2 consultants under you, then that's your goal, right? To at the very least be back to active manager. So that's helping 2 new consultants. If you're already manager, go for 2 new consultants so that you're closer to hitting director as soon as possible. And if you're already executive and if you're already executive and you are where you want to be in that, then are you helping someone else hit manager this week? Are you helping somebody else rank advance? So, so important. So all about massive enrollments, creating at least 2 consultants, which is basically getting your people paid, right? That's what we talk about. Everyone on this call should have a launch party already scheduled. I know there's a lot already scheduled. I've definitely been hearing about a lot of them. Terry and I are doing one in Solana Beach if anybody wants to jump in on that. I think Terry sent out the flyer. And then I know like there's a bunch of girls in South Bay that are doing one tomorrow. They have a lot of people going to that. So just whatever launch parties you have this week, if you can put them on Team Arrow Biz, because some other people could jump in on those as well. So launch parties, so important. And then when I did the vote for the virtual launch party, it seemed like people voted on not having one this week. So we're not going to do it. We're going to see how that goes. But we said But what we said we would do, or the recommendation is, every single one of you is going to do some type of virtual launch party with your people. So that would be like getting people on, like your people on a Zoom call and doing kind of like what you would do at a launch party, but over a Zoom call so that your people can see you, or doing like a Facebook Live, something like that. And the idea behind it is I kind of was getting a lot of feedback that the virtual launch parties weren't necessarily helping. And if anyone feels really strongly that they do help, please let me know, because I definitely, I mean, I want to do them if they're helpful, but it seemed like they weren't. It seemed like, and they used to work for us in the beginning of our team. We did them and we would have big enrollments. So I'm not sure exactly why they're not working anymore. I think that maybe part of it could be that we are pretty big now, and the people that typically do the virtual launch parties, maybe those people have already had kind of those big enrollments, and now when new people are hopping on, they don't see their person necessarily talking. You know what I mean? So like, for example, like Rachel, Travis, and I were talking about, like, for example, if her friends jump on the call, like they don't know me, they don't know the people that are necessarily talking on the Facebook Live. So I think it's a little bit like, who are these people? Why am I watching them? Why do I care about their story? It's not as powerful as, for example, my school psych friends jumping in and seeing me leading the call. Does that make sense? And I think that, I mean, I can see that. I understand that, you know? So I think what would be more powerful is that every single one of you is doing kind of your own either Zoom call or Facebook group or whatever that is, because your people want to hear from you. They want to hear your story. They want to hear what you have to say. And I love, and I might have Rachel, when I'm done, I think I'm going to have Rachel talk about how hers went, because she did it on Friday and actually some really interesting things happened, and she had some reflections about it, which I think would be probably really helpful for the group. So Rachel, at the end, I'll have you share about that. But just kind of keep that in mind. What else? Sharing your story, just making appointments with people, you guys. So like sometimes it's hard to get people for a virtual launch party, or maybe it feels a little bit weird, but like go meet for coffee with somebody that you really want on your team, or meet them for lunch or a play date or whatever that is. But ultimately you want to get in front of people and share your story. Make sure that the people who are participating in the 30-day challenge have emailed me with their before picture before the date that I said. I can't remember now at the top of my head. Probably I said by September 17th, I would think. And so I just wanted to make sure that it's very clear. So we put 5 transformation prizes out there. I'm going to honor one prize per 10 entries. And the reason why I did that, you guys, is because I have done these challenges in the past, and like 3 people will participate. And then I'm dishing out $100 transformation gifts to the 3 people who just emailed me. So that seems a little ridiculous, and it kind of defeats the purpose of doing it. So I really want a lot of people participating. I do this because I hope that it helps you get more people interested in Isogenics. But if it just ends up being that I'm just giving money away, that doesn't really feel very good. So, and honestly, I'm going to see how this goes. Like I stopped doing challenges for a few months because that's what happened. In fact, I think the last challenge, one person emailed me their before and after. And it was like, really? Like, it was so silly. So, again, like I'm investing money into our team and I hope that it helps. But if it just ends up being a couple people, then that tells me that it doesn't really matter and it doesn't really help. And then I probably won't do it again, you know? So just something to keep in mind. I only want to do it if it's really helping. So there's that. Let's see, make sure the pictures are photo stamped. Okay, the other thing, you guys, that came up in talking to so many of you during our 90-day action plan calls. And this kind of came up as I was like digging in further into like, are you talking about the business? And what I found was that several of you, and maybe there's even more that I haven't even like really addressed it with you, is several of you thinking that you're talking about the business with people when in fact you're only talking about referral bonuses. And that's it. Like there's not a whole lot beyond that. Or you think you're painting the vision, but it's incredibly vague. And then it just sounds kind of dreamy and fake and not real. So I really want you guys tonight to think about like, what does it look like when you say you're sharing the business? Like, what does it really look like? What are you saying? What are you sharing? Are you really writing out the numbers? Are you really explaining the compensation plan? And if you're not an executive yet, I bet you're not. I really believe that. I really believe that you're not, because it's literally mathematically impossible if you have a ton of enrollments and you're painting the vision and you're talking about the business. It doesn't make sense that no one's sharing, you know? So I really want you guys to think about that. And again, if you haven't watched the 2 compensation videos, and if you don't know how to write out the compensation plan, then I know you're not sharing it. I mean, that's just like for sure. How can you explain the compensation plan if you've never seen the video, or even talk about it if you've never seen them, you know, if you don't understand the compensation plan? And I had to watch those videos over and over and over again before I could write it out, you know? So I really want you guys to think about that. And I think that a lot of us think that people are going to run with this business because we told them that if they tell 2 people about it, they're going to get $400. And it's just not the case, you know? Like, some people might give you 2 names. Maybe they'll share with like their husband and their mom because you told them about the $400. But do you think that that's going to move them to get on our calls on Mondays? That that's going to move them to post on social media and put themselves out there? That that's going to move them to learn how to enroll people? No, right? Like it would not, it probably wouldn't have moved most of you. What moved most of you was hearing success stories, right? Like hearing what this compensation plan can really offer, hearing that people retired from their jobs, or hearing that Lindsay Hofber, who was a medical doctor, paid $200,000 of student loans in her first year because of this opportunity, right? It's those stories and painting that vision that gets people more open and more interested, and then they start digging in further. So I really, really, really want you to think that. Yes, it's great to talk about the referral bonuses. That's like the bare minimum. But if you really want people moving in this business, and if you really want people linking arms with you and building it, you have to get so comfortable talking about the business, sharing the compensation plan all the way to platinum, all the way to 8-star platinum. And Trudy Maples will tell you that every single person that she ever talks to, every single launch party that she ever does, anybody that gets in front of Trudy Maples knows here's the compensation from her, compensation plan from her day one. She's not focusing on the nutrition. She's focusing on, let's dream together. What can this do for you? Let me show you how this pays. And that's why her team has so much momentum. They all do that. They all talk about the compensation plan in that initial conversation. Now, I know that it's challenging when somebody's reaching out to you to lose 10 pounds to then all of a sudden switch it to, let me show you how to make $1 million. Like, I can understand that is challenging, but you just have to practice. And I mean, for me, normally it's I share my story and I share what got me interested in learning more. It's just a few minutes, you guys. And then I share stories that are relevant to the person who's on the phone with me, you know? So like if I am talking to a doctor, or if I am talking to an attorney, I am going to talk about those student loans. And I ask people, I mean, even strangers, I'll ask them like, do you mind me asking, do you have student loans? And like, what's the amount, you know? And that's like a very easy pain point and one that a lot of people have. And then I talk about Lindsay Hofber's story, you know, and it's like, I'm not talking about them retiring, but I'm talking about like, what if this could just pay off your student loans? Like, what if this could be that extra source of income for you, you know? So just think about that. I mean, there's no, I feel like there's no like black or white way to do it. You kind of have to just, as you're talking to people, really listen to them and hear their pain points and hear their potential why. And then from that, you should have like a repertoire of stories that you can throw in there. Like, I'm not going to talk about Lindsay Hofber paying off her medical school loans to somebody who never went to college and is a single parent and is struggling just for the day in and day out, right? I'm going to talk about another single parent with that person, you know? So you want to talk about stories that are relevant to the person who you're talking to, you know, that they feel like, gosh, if this person can do it, I can do it too, you know? Dream with your people to get them moving. I mean, that really is what it is. And just every single one of you, I'd love for you to think about like, what got you moving? It was probably not referral bonuses. I mean, is there anyone on here, like, please on the chat, tell me if referral bonuses got you moving, like really moving, like jumping on Monday calls. And I mean moving beyond like you referred to people. Okay, I'm just like, wait, somebody said something. Hold on. How do I see it, chat? No. Thank you, Angie. Okay, is there anyone? Okay, I don't think anyone got moving because of referral bonuses. Okay, so I'm not totally wrong on that. That's good. Residual income. At the beginning, yes. No, Christy, not true. No, absolutely not, Christy. You did not get moving because of referral bonuses. We had lunch for 2 hours and I shared my story with you and I painted a lot of vision for you. So no, I'm not even going to take that. Let's see, anyone else? I would love for someone else to say that. And I shared the compensation plan with you in our initial conversation. So, you guys, such a big deal. I mean, I know I wouldn't be moving. No way. I would have been like, I'll just pay for my own product. Like, I don't need to learn how to enroll people. That's just not even worth my time. So I really, really want you to think about that. Ask for referrals this week. So again, like when you're running for goals, this is a week where you push out of your comfort zone a little bit more and maybe reach out to some people and say, like, I am building my health and wellness business and I'm looking for people that are really passionate about health and wellness and who are interested in building a residual income from home. Do you know anybody like that? So like, then it's not so direct, right? Then it's not like, are you open? Like I did that with somebody, my friend who's from Ireland, and I actually used the excuse that we were opening up in Ireland. So I didn't come out and say like, hey, do you want to link arms with me in doing this? But I said, hey, we just opened up in Ireland. I know you have a huge network in Ireland. Do you know anybody in Ireland that would be interested in building a health and wellness business from home? And she actually reached back out to me. We got on a Zoom call. She ended up signing up for a value pack herself. And she loves Isogenics. She's a happy customer. She's been a happy customer for a long time. And actually, she just moved back to Ireland this month. So I need to circle back and revisit some conversations with her. But that was for me reaching out for referrals. It wasn't even for me reaching out to her, you know? So something else to keep in mind. Just asking people who they know. And I would love for you guys, like for every single one of you, to send out that script that Patty shared from Trudy Maples. Like send it out to 10 people. I don't want you to send it out to 100 people because then at that point, it's probably not authentic. Like I want you to like really think of the 10 people in your heart that you're like, gosh, if this person would just like get on the phone with me. Like if I could just get in front of them and if I could just share what this opportunity could do for them, I know they would do it. You know what I mean? Think of 10 people like that and share and send a script similar to Trudy Maples. I mean, obviously we're not sitting at Celebration right now, but you could say something like, I just got off of my team call and I just have to tell you, like, every time I'm thinking about who I want in this business, I think about you. Like, I know we've never talked about this, but I know that you would just be amazing, and just modify Trudy's message and see what happens, you know? Okay, so now, Rachel, can you share what you did on Friday and some of your reflections?
Sure. So Friday I did a Zoom call and I debated for a while if it should be like Zoom or rate like Facebook Live, but I worried that on doing it Facebook Live it would be like there permanently, and I really wanted it to be like people I invited and not just like anybody who wanted to see it. Um so I chose not to do that. However, none of the people that were supposed to show up actually showed up, and I decided to do it anyway and record it and then send it to all those people. So the only person who was there was Gina. Thank you, Gina, for bearing with me. But I realized that like maybe it was better that nobody was there, because in the beginning I was really nervous. I was like talking to myself and I didn't know what I was doing. But then I realized that like nobody was there. So like if it didn't go well, I was just going to delete it and not send it to anybody. And once I felt like I wasn't nervous anymore, I was kind of like getting fired up. And like when I explained the compensation plan, I was like all excited about it. And then I sent it to a couple people, and I didn't even know if they were going to watch it. But one girl responded back and she was like, I'm going to find my two people. And I was like, wow, I've never had anybody say that before. It's probably like the most excitingly I ever explained the compensation plan, versus like I've explained the compensation plan a lot, but I explained the compensation plan like, and this is the compensation plan and this is how it works, and very like dry, just like this is how it works, like there it is. But I'm not like painting a vision or acting exciting about it. So that was the first time, but I was really excited for her. And then she decided not to enroll anyway, but I sent her back out saying like, well, when you find your two people, because money's a problem for her, so go find your two people and then come back and we'll talk again. But it was still good, and I have it saved, and I could post the link. It's just saved on YouTube, so I could post the link in the Team AeroBiz page. That way, if you guys want to see it, if you're thinking about doing your own, and I'm open to like all criticism. Like I don't get my feelings hurt easily, so if you think there was something that was not good or would be good, please share. Don't like feel like keeping it in your head, not telling me, because you won't hurt my feelings at all. So
Yeah, I love that.
right in the biz, in you guys want it on the biz page, or you want it in the celebration thread, or the
You
90?
can keep in the Team Arrow Biz like celebration thread.
Okay. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you,
And I
Rachel.
kept it short, so it's 20 minutes.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great. Awesome, awesome. So again, I think it's just one of those things like, I mean, sending somebody like, I mean, Isogenics teaches us like use the tools, right? So yeah, sending the Jen Smith video or sending the Eden Slobin video are great, but I find that there has to already be some motivation for somebody to watch them. Do you know what I mean? Like, and even in talking with some of you or some of the people in your downline, like, I don't doubt that you have sent the compensation plan to people, but I'm finding out that they never watched it, you know? So it's like, you know, just watch it. And that's also why how Eric Worre kind of trains us, like, not to just send videos out, but instead say, hey, if I were to send you a short video explaining our compensation plan, would you watch it? Let them agree to it first. Like, yes. Okay, awesome. I'm going to send it to you tonight, and I'm going to check in with you tomorrow to see what you thought. And I think that's, again, in that follow-up, right? I think like we also are guilty of like, I sent her the compensation plan a month ago and I just never heard back. It's like, well, did you follow up? Did you give them like I'm going to check in with you tomorrow and see what you thought? And did you follow up? Like all those steps are important, you know, because then they know, like, okay, I'm holding you to it, you know, like I'm going to follow up. Ariana, are you raising your hand? Or high five?
Yes. Sorry. No,
I didn't know if you were getting
I just had a question
five or like what was
for
happening.
Rachel.
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
both. Both.
Both.
So when you did the Zoom, you went over product as well, I'm assuming. And did you go over like specific product? Did you choose three? Because sometimes I tend to talk way too much if I go through all the products. So I tend to choose three of my favorites, and then I kind of give them a brief explanation of anything else they may have questions on. So I'm curious to see how that section of it went.
So I did it basically exactly the same way that I do a launch party in my house, but then I took out, which is the Trudy Maples way, but I took out the
Did you guys hear me?
video. So I start with like welcome and history of isogenics and then my story. And then after my story, I go through like the usual, like what do people spend on a day? And I just like made shit up. I mean, I was like, and people usually tell me I went to Dunkin' Donuts and I bought a coffee into this and it cost $5. I did the whole thing. And then I showed the whole value pack and I did go through very quickly, like all the products. And then I pushed away everything that wouldn't be if you just got the 30-day. That's Anne and I have talked about like how impactful that is, like showing people all of this stuff and then being like, oh, if you just get the 30-day, like you push all the other things aside, like how that looks and feels to people. And then I made a shake and drank it because that's what I normally would have done and they weren't there and I can't taste it, but I'm telling you, it's great. And then I wrapped it up. It was very specific because I did say like, and we have these 2 seasonal flavors right now, and we had free enrollment until Sunday. So I'll probably do another one this week or Monday again because I have to work all week actually. And I've been trying to do them in the mornings to catch my East Coast people rather than in the evenings is too late for East Coast time. But I don't know, the saving it was kind of nice and sending it. And you can see how many people, well, once I send it to all you guys, it'll be messed up. But before that, I could see like how many times it was viewed from my link. So that's kind of nice. Then you can see like who saw it, who didn't see it, even if people don't tell you, even when you're following up. Because some people I've sent it to said, send it to me. And then I followed up with, and then they're like, you know, they disappear.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
But I don't know. See what you think. You can definitely change it and do it a different way. I didn't know what to do.
Thank
so
you.
do what I'm comfortable with, which is the same way I would do a launch party.
Yeah.
I totally mess up the
Okay. Thank you. No, that was helpful.
wasn't in my plan, but I decided I wanted to say the mission statement, and then I like totally jack it up, and I just keep going because I didn't have an option at that point.
No one knows. They don't know. The people watching don't know.
Well, you can tell that I messed it up, but it's okay. Like I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so I know we're running out of time. Any burning questions?
I invited people, like I actually made an invite just like I would for a sip and sample, and I could post that and I might have deleted it with like the link, and then I would send it to them. I sent them like a pretty looking one, not like the one Sonia sends that you can click on, a pretty looking one they made in whatever. And then if they said yes, then I sent them the one that you could just click on the link straight from Zoom.
Perfect.
Easier than trying to type it in.
Yeah, that's great. And I like that because you're getting a commitment from them before just sending massive invites with the link, and then you know who's actually committed. Okay. Anything else? Anyone else? All right. Get excited, you guys. It's a big week. And just remember these weeks, like they are busy, they are crazy. You call in the troops for help. But I also just want you to know it takes a lot of action. It takes a lot of intentional work from you. It will not just happen. Like If you just sit there and think it's going to happen to you, it's just not. But if you really commit to it and really do things out of the ordinary, I've seen amazing things happen in push weeks like this. And just stay in action. Like sometimes by Wednesday or Thursday, I'm already hearing from people like, it's not going to happen. It's like, what? Like there's 4 days left. Like anything can happen, you know, but just keep pushing away and get creative, get super creative. I'm always happy to strategize. But I like strategizing with people who are in action. Like if you're not doing anything all week and then on Saturday night you want to talk to me to strategize, like I don't know if I'll do that. You know, like I want to see action. I want to see enrollments. I want to see you moving. And then the magic always wraps up on Sunday, as long as you've been in action all week, as long as you've been doing all the things. For some reason, it all wraps up on Sunday. I've seen that happen, not only for myself, but so many people on our team. So, all right, if there's no more questions, we'll wrap it up. Anyone else? No? All right, you guys, have a good night. Let's help a lot of people get started, and I can't wait to see what happens this week. Good night.